If I want to grow the business, I really needed a team. When you delegate different tasks to others that are not my strength, especially, I was able to focus on getting, more sales because that was my strength and building the business. So delegating allowed me to create more impact through mentorship, leadership, and collaboration. So then this differentiates me from being a solo home-based crafter to a full-fledged business owner. It showed me that courage also means knowing when to let go and trust others to grow.
In order to be able to delegate also means that we are learning to trust others and to also learn to identify their strength.
I lead by example, showing my vulnerability, my weaknesses, my strengths, and how I grew from them, and having faith by embracing the risks. And I celebrate both wins and failure now. I also create space where others feel safe to experiment, take bold steps, and challenge the norms through creativity and innovation, especially whether in business, family, or in leadership as well.
Walk the talk, lead by example. That's how we cultivate courage.
Instead of fearing failure, if I want to truly grow or anyone, you need to see it as a feedback. It's like a gift. So growth only happens when we reflect and learn from setbacks rather than avoid them. Even during failures, I will take responsibility of my failure, knowing that I can actually grow from failing, especially when I surround myself with a strong support system. And always remember my why, your why. The purpose will give you the courage to keep going.
Welcome to the Summit series of Voices Courage of Asia, where we celebrate leaders, changemakers, and visionaries who embody courage and drive transformative impact. My name is Lillian. I'm your host today. And in this special series, we explore the stories of resilience, leadership, and the bold steps taken to create meaningful change. And I have a very special guest with me today, and she is none other than Joyce. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Lillian.
Yeah, let me properly introduce Joyce. Now, we are joined by an inspiring entrepreneur who has redefined sustainability and creativity through her work. All right, Joyce is the founder of Hokma, a modern lifestyle brand specializing in eco-friendly jasminite creations, right? And from her early years of career, from flight attendant to overcoming personal challenges, Joyce transformed her passion into a sustainable business, and thereafter exiting successfully, right? And also now moving into a new season and then the new venture, right, where she is embarking on this journey of becoming she's actually one of our social media marketing coach, and not forgetting a supporting pioneer contributor in Women of Courage Asia. So it's my privilege to have you back on the show, Joyce.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Just a casual conversation. But I want to take this opportunity to extract a lot of nuggets of wisdom and the experiences that you have accumulated over the years. Now, let's talk about some personal journey and your leadership growth journey, right? The theme for this year's summit is inspiring courage for transformative impact. So what does that mean to you personally?
To step beyond the fear by faith to create purposeful changes, whether it's in the family setting, business, career, or leadership. I feel like courage really isn't just about taking the risk, but it's about embracing the unknown with faith and perseverance. That itself, to me, I find that it inspires courage for transformative impact.
Yeah, really. I like what you said, that taking that action and with faith, right? Yeah. Is there a pivotal moment when courage transformed? Of course, I know there is. You just have to share that pivotal moment where courage transformed how you lead and or how you approach challenges. What is that pivotal moment?
So when I started previously my own business, Hokma, so one of my defining moments was when I stepped into a space where there was no guarantee, especially I started around during COVID season. I only had a vision, in my mind. So the courage to persist despite the uncertainties and failures really transformed my approach and how I look my setbacks, because I feel that I now see challenges as an opportunity for growth rather than setback. Because specifically last time, right, in my public speech journey, I used to be very scared to even teach one person. I was shivering. I just, my words couldn't come out. I was struggling. I was sweating. But with courage, I have actually shared to now more than 10,000 students in my business journey.
Wow.
So that was, really a pivotal moment when courage transformed me a lot. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We have many of us have witnessed your journey, and that is truly, truly very inspiring. Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about leadership, because like you are already a mentor figure to many, right, in your sphere of influence. So what inspired you to embark or step into this leadership role, and how has this leadership journey influenced others?
My inspiration actually comes from witnessing the power of courage and creativity for me in transforming lives. Art, design, and entrepreneurship have given me a platform to empower others, especially women, to embrace their unique gifts and build something meaningful. So, to be honest, it still brings me to tears of joy knowing that despite my weaknesses, there was someone who believed in me. You, Lillian, of course, and especially the beautiful ladies in a Women of Courage and Class Living. So my life was transformed for the better. And I hope that my journey shows that courage is the fuel to success. And that's where I want to inspire others to take their own leap of faith. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I'm very proud of you and very encouraged and inspired by you actually, that you take whatever that you don't value. Extraction is up to individual, and you received and you just run with it, and you exhibited courage. What courage looks like, you lead by example. You just walk the talk, and when there are times and seasons where you need to take a break, you took a break. You have the courage to even like just withdraw and take a break. I think that is important. That is, because we're living in a society, this society where we do not know how to say no. We do not know how to take a break. We do not know how to take a rest. Yeah. So I think being able to exercise all that throughout this whole journey, 6 years, right? It's a long journey. Yeah. And thank you for exhibiting all that. Yeah.
9 years actually. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, 9 years. I met you on the 4th
2018.
year. Yeah. Something.
Yeah, 2018. Yes, we met in 2018. Yeah. All right. And then, serving alongside with you in the girls' home. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. Yes. Yeah. So very, very proud of you and the many ladies and the people that you have impacted throughout this journey. So thank you for exhibiting courage.
Thank you for giving me a chance.
Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about decisions. Because as leaders, as individuals, we make decisions. Plenty of decisions, but I want to specifically highlight difficult decisions. Especially, times when you need to make a very difficult, courageous decision as a leader. Is there a story that you can share around this point?
Yeah, I do definitely. So previously when I was running Hokma, right, especially Hokma's day-to-day operation, I was very afraid to delegate work. I was really afraid. Like, I just want to do the work all by myself. I don't want to delegate it. I want to make sure it's, perfect. But learning from you and of course the other businesswomen in the community, I observed that, when you delegate different tasks to others, and because realizing I could not do it alone, and if I want to grow the business, I really needed a team, right? And I did found an amazing team. So I let it go and delegated the works that are not my strength, especially. So that I was able to focus on getting, more sales because that was my strength, and building the business. So delegating allowed me to create more impact through mentorship, leadership, and collaboration. So then this differentiates me from being a solo home-based crafter to a full-fledged business owner. When I grew the business with staffs, with a team, so it showed me that courage also means knowing when to let go and trust others to grow. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is leadership. That's courageous leadership because in order to be able to delegate also means that we are learning to trust others and to also learn to identify their strength, right?
Yeah.
And provide the opportunity for them to exhibit their strengths or to explore and discover their strength, right? So that is also a learning journey for developing leadership, right? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So the word is delegation, right? Now, how about because you work with so many people and you found your team, and how do you cultivate courage in them? I mean, you exhibited courage and all that, but how do you cultivate courage in them?
I lead by example. I believe in that very well. Showing my vulnerability, my weaknesses, my strengths, and how I grew from them, and having faith by embracing the risks. And I celebrate both wins and failure now. So I also create space where others feel safe to experiment, take bold steps, and challenge the norms through creativity and innovation, especially whether in business, family, or in leadership as well. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I cultivate courage.
Yes, walk the talk, lead by example. Yeah, that's how we cultivate courage, right? In our ecosystem here. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, is there a common symptoms or fears or challenges that keep surfacing up among the women or the men? Let's focus on the women, right? That you see again and again, and then you have to address this again and again.
I think it's really the mindset. Yeah, it's really the mindset. So by intentionally shifting the mindset, my mindset, everyone's mindset, instead of fearing failure, if I want to truly grow or anyone, you need to see it as a feedback. It's like a gift. So growth only happens when we reflect. That's what I've always learned from our community, and learn from setbacks rather than avoid them. So earlier, I used to avoid them because in my earlier career, I got scolded very badly whenever I make mistakes. And it wasn't just scolding, it was verbal abuse. So that kind of hurt me a lot. And ever since then, during that time, I told myself I cannot fail. But it's humanly impossible, not possible to not fail. So when I failed in the earlier days of my career, I got very paralyzed. So I start the work, but I never finish it successfully. However, after I met you, your, leadership example, your mentorship, and the different women in our community, I found new positive perspective. Even during failures, I will take responsibility of my failure, knowing that I can actually grow from failing, especially when, I surround myself with a strong support system, and always remember my why, your why, the purpose will give you the courage to keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I mean not being afraid to make mistakes, and failure is only failure when you stop trying, right? When you stop taking action. And John Maxwell had this book, right? Failing Forward. We fail forward. Yeah. So again, it's I like what you said, a new perspective, it's all about the mindset. So how we renew our mind, how we see things from a different perspective. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And for our audience out there, especially the leaders out there, if you're wondering how do I encourage or cultivate courage in my team? Yeah, lead by example. All right, now let's talk about communities now, because this is what we're advocating. This is what we're passionate about. It's all about building a safe community, right? So what role does courage play in driving a social impact and creating meaningful change in communities?
For me, believing that courage is the catalyst for transformation, right? It takes courage to challenge norms and to start conversations that matters, to take action even when the path is unclear, and there's many resistance, right? So real impact happens when us individuals dare to be different and drive change where it's needed, especially that and when it starts in your own sphere of influence. So for example, in my own creative journey, sustainability was a very big part of my purpose. As a designer, the process of creating artworks, it really creates a lot of waste too. So therefore, I had to challenge the norm by looking into my process and how it can be friendlier to the environment. Because of this, I've influenced other crafters, other artists, other designers to think of their environmental intentionally while creating their artworks.
Right. So someone got to start first, right? Someone got to take the leap of faith first. Someone got to make a stand first. Someone got to speak up first. Someone got to think and do things differently first. Yeah. So yes, thank you for again, taking the jump first and then influencing the rest of the industry players. Yeah. Okay, now the next thing I want to ask you is, let's see, mentorship and empowerment. And how has I think you talked a little bit about this earlier, but how can mentorship inspire courage and empower future transformative leaders? Because we are living in a world where it's a very different world where I grown up, as in we're born, even my son, they're born into the internet world. Knowledge is at the tips of their fingers, and there's so much information out there on the internet with AI and all that. So how can mentorship inspire courage and empower future transformative leaders?
For me, I believe that mentorship really provides guidance. But then again, you have to really find the right mentor for you. For me, what I found in you, Lillian, was that you did not just encourage me in my business mindset, but you touched my soul, you touched my heart, as a mentor. Because even with all the skills that I have, I'm really skillful. I have lots of gifts, but without the right heart for it and the mind, I cannot grow past my failure. I needed guidance, validation, and the confidence to take bolder steps. And when I have someone who believes in me, it's easier to believe in myself, to be honest. So I feel that a good mentor doesn't just give advice, they challenge you to take bigger and act courageously. I also learned from your mistakes, and my mentor's mistakes. And that helps me lessen my mistakes. So that for me is very, very important. Yes.
Yes, and I think definitely future transformative leaders out there, they are looking up to you as their mentor, right? I can only say they are very blessed, right? Because you have so much to share and you are so willing to share also. Yeah, someone believed in me and stretched out their hand to help me, right? And we keep passing it forward. We keep, pass it forward. Yeah. So yes, for the younger generation out there, right? If you chance upon this video, this podcast, and knowing that, you can reach out to Joyce. Yeah, of course, I'll put her link, social media link in the description in this episode. You can reach out to her. She has a wealth of experience, right? And yeah, she's also very young and she can relate to the younger generation as well. Yeah, so do reach out to her. Yeah, she is a great mentor.
Thank you.
All right, now let's talk a bit. Oh, we covered quite a bit actually. Yeah, let's talk about the summit. Right? How can we don't talk about the summit? What motivated you to participate in this year's Her Courage Leaders Summit, and what does that mean to you?
For me, this summit actually aligns perfectly with my mission, to empower women, foster meaningful connections, and create opportunities for impact. So serving the community for some time now, I have gained so much knowledge that has helped me tremendously in my own journey. Therefore, I want to serve in the community that has blessed me using my own story of courage in hopes that anyone who hears me and my fellow leaders as well to join us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, to join us. There are many women of courage in our community. Right, Joyce is one of them, and yeah, do come and meet the rest of the ladies. They have so much to share, so much to give actually. Yeah, just take the courage to open our mouth.
Yeah, say hi to us. Just say hi.
Yes, we are nice people, all right? We don't bite. Yeah. And now, uh, for the nominees, right? Because we want to shine the spotlight on the unsung heroines out there. And they are living a life of courage, but not many people know about it. But their stories can inspire others to break free from their fear barriers, overcome their challenges. So what advice would you give to these nominees, right? Or the people out there who are doing a great work, but are still, in their self-doubt that, they underplay or they don't see the significance in their work. Yeah. What advice or encouragement would you give to these ladies out there?
To me, I think very simple. For me, it's really just take the first step. So I don't wait for the perfect conditions. Oh, I have to 100% know full knowledge. No, just start where you are with what you have and trust that everything will unfold as you go, especially if you have a community to support one another, like Women of Courage and class living. So that's my that's my advice.
Yeah, and I also want to take this opportunity to do a shout out to those who know another woman, right, who is very inspiring and doing great work. Nominate them. Go to the website hercourageleaderssamsung.com and nominate these women. We want to know them. We want to be inspired by them, and we want their stories to be an inspiration to us and to many out there, right? So yes, go nominate a woman of courage. Okay, last but not least, let's talk a little bit about emotions. Yeah. How do you balance? We are all human beings, right? We have emotions, we have our thoughts, and it can get a bit chaotic at times. How do you balance the emotional and the strategic side of leadership? Because we got to make decisions and, the thinking, the logic part of it, the strategic side of things. How do you balance that?
To be honest, I don't think I'm able to balance it. I don't know. I don't really know how to balance it, but I just focus on staying grounded on my mission while remaining adaptable throughout the journey as it comes. So for me, it's really how to be adaptable. And because transformation, right, it requires all the willpower of my heart, my mind, my soul, my strength, and strategy. So my passion fuels my vision. So while strategy ensures that it is being executed, so I just do my best to focus on my purpose while at the same time having faith in God for myself that I will transform for the very best. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I totally can resonate with you on that. Like just now you mentioned, you may have a lot of skill sets. There are many people out there who are highly, competent. They have, they've been upgrading. They are picking up plenty of skill sets, right? So it's not a competency issue. Yeah, it's really, a character and commitment and mindset issue here, right? And the courage issue. Yeah, and you found your courage in your faith, right? In God and in yourself. So, and the support that surrounds you. Yeah. So these are already ways that we can balance or juggle, right, between these two factors. Yeah. Thanks for the wonderful tip, Joyce, and thank you for setting aside your time to do this recording. So what is one last encouragement or things that you want to say to our audience out there before we wrap this up?
For me, it's just to invite another woman, to come for the summit. And that's something that I want to encourage you to courageously do. Just think of one woman to invite.
Yeah. Yes.
Start
And
with
one brings one. It's very powerful already. Yeah. Thanks for all the inspiration that you have shared, all the nuggets of wisdom that you have shared. Now, for our audience out there, if you have found inspiration in today's episode, I encourage you to start taking action. All right. Whether it's just stepping out of your comfort zone or just embracing new opportunities or to support a cause like what we're doing here that drives positive change. The most important thing also, stay connected with us. Yeah, subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. And if you want to connect with Joyce, right, we also will leave the link to her social media in the episode description. Okay, so this has been another powerful episode of the Summit series on Voices of Courage Asia, where we inspire courage for transformative impact. So until next time, keep leading with courage and make a difference in the world. We see you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you, Vivian. Bye, everyone.